Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Hajime no Ippo, episode 46. Okay. So we have Barf Michi leaving the Kamogawa gym.
Yep.
We will miss him. He will be missed. And we had a nice little cool shot of the squad, the 6 of them, all members of the gym, kind of seeing him off.
Yep.
And it's like, alright, bigger and better things for you, buddy.
Yep. But as for Ipoh, he has bigger and better things also.
Yes, on the road to Date.
Because this boy not only has the hair and eye power of a proper anime character, but he's a big boy. He's strong and he is terrifying and he's quick and yeah.
If anything, he reminds me too much of Ipoh in a way that makes me go, oh, we're going to do one of these fights.
Like more like a Sendo style fight.
Like a Rocky 2, kind of someone coming in with hunger,
Right, yeah.
But then, Sendo kind of as well. But there was an aspect of his personality that was shown just for a brief bit where we saw that he didn't seem happy about the way the fight went.
Right. And that's
what's up with that?
I'm really
curious.
excited for them to go into that because the whole idea of the bruiser that gets so into it that he just destroys his opponents even after the referee tells him to stop and everything.
Right.
That's cool and that can be terrifying. But adding that extra bit in there, well, now we have depth, and now I can be rooting for him. Also alongside Ipoh, and not just as far as winning the match, but also in how the match goes.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, we got to see Taka Mora be his clown self, but then everyone else joined him in their clown self as well. But also because they needed to let some stress out, because they each went through some tough matches recently, and they're worried about upcoming matches, and just this tournament in general. Yeah. So, Also, I think, is Aoki that has to deal with Mashiba, or is it Kimura that has to deal with Mashiba?
I can't remember.
I think it's Kimura, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, probably.
Just the idea that Mashiba, changed his weight class. So that now we have to deal with that monster. Yep. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Now. So 答えは気がないでリスク対ギリギリの勝負で Get a life 時間はそんなにないぜそれがスタートウェイ I want this only 探し求めるあのギリギリの槍の中で歩きづくて夜も一日ついてだけど終わらずにただ思いを止め何も見当てないけれどWhyきっとこのままの pain trans continue There's that part in the beginning of every line where you're figuring out what to say next. So there's trans continue.
By the time we have it down pat, then it's gonna change.
Yep.
We'll have to do it all over again.
Exactly. That it do be like that. Oh. That's a good point. Yeah. What is this? This is cool.
Yeah.
Oh. Haha, average Joe. I understood that reference now. It doesn't have to be a reference,
right? But it's still ironic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very, very close. Especially given that the manager seems to be a reference to the guy from the. Oh. And he already catches up. Yeah.
And he's talking while running.
Yeah. Become a gazelle.
Oh.
All right. with a spring in your step, basically.
Yeah.
Doing the doing. Ah! Of course.
It's in there with his porn. Yep.
Yeah. Ah. Ah!
It wouldn't be the same though. And plus he's yeah. Oh, he's done that before.
Right. I think he just did it again because Ipoh was there, so he wanted to like rub it in.
But the fact that Aoki fell for it again. Exactly.
Right. You earn it. Ah. Oh, wait.
Is this going to be an Aoki and Kimura focused episode?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. And they're getting older.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good question. Oh my god, what? That was so random!
Kicked up dust.
Yeah.
No, that's more porn.
Oh, he's just taking a shit now. Okay, gotcha. Sleep, buddies, sleep.
Yep.
That was some good background track, though.
Yeah. He's fighting like their opponents.
Whoa, 8 rounds!
Holy crap.
Oh, okay. Alright. Aoki's going all out. Alright, sweet. Oh my god.
Flawless punk face.
Ah! The frog, that's right!
Yeah.
That's right! He did the little duck and spring boing, you know? You know, it's gonna be funny here is that I can just barely tell the difference between the two of them. Like, they both look like punks with the same haircut.
Yeah,
But I can easily tell who's who.
Well, it's mainly from like how the camera focuses on them that I can tell.
Yeah, but like here.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, show some guts. Ah ha ha. Oh! Oh!
All right.
Oh! Well done, Aoki! No, this is good. Now they're just trading blows. Awesome. Yeah. Oh no, Aoki's down. Oh. Oh, they're calling it. Oh. Yeah. He thinks that the punch was a runaway fluke?
Well, just that it managed to connect like that, maybe.
Gotcha. Oh.
It's a good reminder for Ipoh that, you know, that could be him.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. So this is getting drawn out like a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a points. It's a points match. Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, good question. Oh. Stamina time.
Yeah, but
yeah, his style uses up a lot of energy though, because he's an outboxer.
He's taking a big beating.
Yeah. Oh, and he's not moving. Yeah, crap. Oh! Oh, that's it. That's it. The knees. Oh, dang.
That's rough.
They did such a good job animating the knees, like buckling, trying to... Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Ipoh. He cares so much. Nice. He calls them family. Yeah. Yeah. Ah! Whoa! Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're putting it off to when they sleep, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Eat some good food.
There we go.
Whoa, Taka Mora! Uh-oh. 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 This whole thing might have just been foreshadowing about having to deal with loss. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Nice. Nice. Whoa. It's impossible to feel accustomed to regret. Whoa. I really like that line. I'm gonna save that for the discussion. Holy crap. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Nope.
Oh no, he came back in a grim mood.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He's practically growling in his breath, yeah. He's gonna blow up! Ah! Oh! Whoa! Oh.
日本のトレーナーすぐその言葉使いたがる。技術不足を根性努力という言葉にすり替えて。
Whoa.
豊かな若者が将来を棒に振っていく。
Holy crap.
考え方がトレーナーが悪いと。そうは言っていません。ただ少なくとも私のボクサーに勝てる選手。
Oh.
日本のボクシング界をバカにされた気持ちがじゃが残念なことに事実も含まれている。わしは言い返す。
Oh dang.
Yeah, we're gonna win. Oh, oh, all right. Oh, like the frog, but it's gonna be an uppercut. Yeah. You basically get explosive uppercut power. Right. Whoa. That is the new punch. Just keep doing that. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Oh, Gazelle, a Gazelle. He needs to have that bounce. Yeah. Whoa. Right, because the thing probably for that is that you need to be able to do that quickly. Right. Otherwise, you'll get taken out. Right. The other thing is he needs to be able to drop and go up quickly so that he can dodge the cross or what have you. Okay, Volg, when we saw him fight, he had this kind of like diagonal, like rotation spin kind of punch. Like he was... So maybe... Oh! Oh, is he doing it underwater? Yeah! Nice! Taka Mora's face! Taka Mora's face! Yeah. Because there's resistance. Yeah. Yeah, actually keeping their breath, you know. Right, right. His butt's coming out of it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, back up. Whoa. Whoa. Cool. Whoa. Right. Oh my god. Yeah. This is gonna be so legit. Yep. Yep. The tricky thing is he has to get that driving power off his feet and you know, spring off of that. So it has to be the step. Yep, that. And then get the driving. Oh, there it is! Whoa! Oh my god! Oh my god. Wow. What? That was amazing! He left an imprint on the back. Oh. Alright, cool. See, I'm telling you, that's his superpower. He makes his body do exactly what he wants it to do. Well, what's funny is that that's ridiculous. That actually, even though it's being done in a way that is much more refined, right? In theory, it feels very similar to Aoki's frog deal. No, the difference is that Aoki's has no driving force from his legs. Well, right, and it's entirely on the spring up. So when he makes the punch, he's not grounded. Well, and also in going down to that, well, it's just bad to do that when you're next to the person for one, because then they can just take you out, no problem. Yeah. But like Ipoh is a what is it? An inboxer? An inboxer. So his whole weakness is that he can get. He doesn't have range usually. Well, he doesn't have range, but he lacks sometimes the ability to close the gap between those outboxers and himself. So this is terrifying. All right, okay. That was a good episode. Yep. That was a good episode. We got some Aoki and Kimura focus. Yeah, which is really good because they I really enjoy them as characters. But they can kind of get into just sort of the we're Taka Mora's goons kind of a thing. Yeah. So getting this depth here was really good, especially considering that with how well Ipoh's been doing, right, and that he has been passing them by. How does that make them feel, right? Yeah. What's that like for them? You know, and I'm really glad that they didn't win their matches, even though in some ways it it's like, well, they're not the main character and they're not Taka Mora, so
Sure.
there you go. But the story's about Ipoh because he's the person that is able to go the distance and all that stuff.
Exactly.
But showing how they dealt with it and also how they were around Ipoh, because at first I thought it was just something where it's like, okay, they're hyping up the main character, they're building him up maybe for like when Ipoh fights Volg, and then Volg's this insanely tough opponent.
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, what does that look like for an outsider?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So Aoki and Kimura lost their fights, but they came out of this with a little bit of the seasoned kind of veteran experience of, hey, we've been around the block a few times. We've been working at this for 4 years.
Yep.
Like one loss isn't going to shake us up completely, but in that moment, the chief gave a line there where he kind of looked at C. It's like, did you see? They were smiling through clenched teeth.
Right.
And he gave this line that I'm wrestling with in my mind. The idea of him saying that it's impossible to grow accustomed to regret. Now,
right.
On a fundamental level, he said the word impossible. So I tend to disagree when someone says the word impossible, because it's usually regarding
right. It's very
some
easy
kind
to prove that something is somehow possible than that it's impossible.
Exactly. Yeah. But when you think about growing accustomed,
yeah, I mean,
the idea that regret is something we all live with. I don't think there's anyone out there that has zero regrets. That's why it's kind of a meme. The zero regrets, Like we've got people out there that I would say have moved past their regrets. They're there, and they have not really sunk into them and let them take them down, but they still acknowledge them in their minds. If anything, they use those feelings of regret to channel energy to move past and beyond that.
And in some ways, it's almost a tautological statement, because the very definition of regret is wishing that things had been different. So by its very nature, that's something that if you ever were to grow accustomed to it, then I guess it's not a regret anymore.
Exactly. But that might be part of his point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is that when you grow accustomed to regret, you move into this other mediocre area where things aren't even about looking into the past anymore.
Right. Because in order to have regret, you need to have desires.
Yeah.
Right. And if you get to the point where you aren't able to regret something, right, then that means the desire that basically got let down, right, isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you let basically the regret run its course and kill your passion, if you will.
Yeah. And in some cases that's perfectly natural, right? It's something that was a regret, something that you really wanted, when you were a kid, you might not really care so much about, when you've grown up, right? But on the other hand, there are instances where that is like a death of a part of you.
Yep.
If that were to ever happen. And I think that's why Taka Mora's way of reminding them, even though he talked a lot bigger to Ipoh of all the ways that he would remind them, and maybe that was what he actually did, those things that he said, but it's that keeping the fire up, right? That basically rousing that anger at the situation of, no, I refuse to accept this.
Right.
I aim to misbehave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they refuse to accept the idea that this is the end for them. They go back to recovery, and they're back up to ship shape in a day or two, or a couple days, or what have you. And the thing is that they're always going to be kind of the goofy goober side characters in a lot of ways.
Right.
But think about what they did in just this one episode. We ended up giving them a little bit of an emotional grounding to not just their struggles as being a boxer, but comparing that, and I would say in some ways running that alongside Ipoh's. And then we realize, oh wow, yeah, Ipoh not only surpassed them, he in some ways has the talent, the effort, the skill, all this stuff that he's put into this sport to go up to the level of people like Taka Mora. Not in terms of their actual...
Right. Weight class is different.
Yeah, he'd never be able to beat Taka Mora, but the idea that, they recognize Taka Mora in him.
Right. Yeah, which is huge.
Uh-huh.
And that he struggles at a different level than they do.
Yeah.
Right? The people that they're struggling to fight... Now, maybe Ipoh would still have a bunch of trouble because they're bigger, right? Different weight classes and stuff. But and you know, so Volg might not be necessarily a great representation because Volg is in the featherweight class, you know. So Aoki, for instance, you know, he's in like the middleweight class, I think. Might not be a good representation of that. But Ipoh's just sort of soaring past these places where they've been fighting to get to for 4 years.
A long time.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's, on the one hand, that's rough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they can fight to change it and everything, but in some ways, they never will be able to change it.
Nope.
Not that they won't be able to work farther than where they're at right now.
Right.
Right.
They can see his
progress.
Right. They can see his competitiveness, like they said at the end of the episode, and use that to channel their own passion.
But that they mentioned the Gazelle Punch here. But the idea of having your level of aptitude for boxing or whatever be like a gazelle, where it's just where like it seems to be for Ipoh, where he's just undefeated knockouts one after the other, just you know, again and again and again, like Taka Mora, right?
He's kept the cheetahs at bay.
Right, exactly. That's something that, you know, they kind of realized here, like, oh, that might not be in the cards for us. The way that the way that we fight is through, you know, like in the case of Aoki, the you know, whack
gimmicky
techniques and just being a meat sack that takes punches and gives punches, right? In case of Kimura, beating them on points because they're, you know, they might be, you know, stronger, better, you know, whatever.
Right. Using every bit of energy to kind of
clear
out the win by an edge, by a hair's edge. We also got some really interesting stuff from Taka Mora this episode. Taka Mora showed a different side of himself. We have seen, in a lot of ways, the pervy, kind of brash, you know, unencouraging, kind of intimidating, kind of, I would say, a little bit bully side of him. But he's kind of the older brother, kind of just awkward.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah, it's he's more the awkward one who doesn't know how to do these things properly. So you see him express himself in his old kind of brawler bully ways.
Right.
But we also saw him try Ipoh style. He tried to encourage them, and I think he did a really good job. He gave the honest truth of, this was your best match I've seen thus far. And they're like, hey, don't joke about our best bout being one where we lose. And then Ipoh follows up with that. But if we think back on it, Taka Mora doesn't really do that style of encouragement.
Nope.
Like, ever.
Right.
So in some
you
ways,
can take that to the bank.
Yeah. But also, do you think Taka Mora is actually realizing, like, yeah, I could learn a little from Ipoh here as well. You know, this is him kind of absorbing a little bit of Ipoh's encouragement style and being like, hey, they see me as their senpai in terms of boxing. I'm their like, you know, their upperclassmen basically here. And I am, you know, clearly a better boxer, yes. What can I say as a better boxer that they can't refute? And then go and use that as an encouragement. And I think in his, you know, kind of little brain that he's got, his limited capacity, he went and came up with that. And it's like, oh, that's actually really good point. You guys have grown so much. Like, look at where you've come in the last 4 years.
Well, and in some ways, I almost feel like the reason that he does all of the stuff that he does, you know, one, it's just his style, right?
Yeah.
But, or one of the perks of that is the whole thing of being able to take it to the bank, right?
Sure.
If Ipoh said something like that, right?
Right.
They'd be like, that's thank you, Ipoh. That's nice of you.
That's nice of you, yeah.
When Taka Mora says that, no. There's and that's what Taka Mora does. He says he speaks his mind.
There's more weight behind it.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Not as much of a featherweight.
Right. You know, when there's a bunch of cute girls at the pool, he says, "Wow, there's a lot of hot babes here," right?
Yeah,
when he thinks you sucked, you know, right? He's like, "Wow, that was awful," right?
Like, you sucked.
Yeah. You're a disgrace to this gym. You know, when he thinks that you did the best match of your life, he tells you that was the best match you fought thus far.
Right.
So
people who are encouragers can sometimes end up being they'll willfully leave out little bits of the truth in order to make things sound the best that they can, and trust that they mean the best. It's not something where they're trying to deceive you, but it is refreshing to have a Taka Mora who just goes, How could I encourage you for that pitiful little frog boing display? That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in boxing. Aoki, I swear, if you ever practice that at the gym, I'm gonna clock you upside the head. And Aoki's just like, okay.
Right.
You know, something like that.
Not everyone can have the wonderful sincerity of, say, Speedwagon, so that they can just be constantly spewing positive things and you know they really mean it.
Right.
Or
because they're self-deluded.
Right, yeah, that's the other thing, right? You know, if you, like...
they believe it!
Right.
100%.
Yeah, having that while also knowing that they're speaking the truth of the universe. So, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the fourth wall breaking, like, straight from the author's, like,
So the way Taka Mora did this was great, and I loved how Ipoh was basically struggling with this, because the thing is that if Ipoh did the thing that maybe would come naturally of saying, like, that was a great match, you know, or whatever, or things like that, that could end up being like hot coals, like that could go across the absolute wrong way, because like Kimura mentioned, you don't need to tiptoe around us.
Yeah, and if anything, I think Kimura stopped that dead in its tracks by going, hey, you don't need to tiptoe around us.
Right.
Basically saying, I know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
He's like, I've been in your situation.
We're used to that. You know,
we're used to that.
Yeah, or not used to it, but we're familiar with it.
Yeah, we are familiar with it. So they don't feel offended or anything by it. If anything, they're teaching Ipoh here how to respond to the situation as it truthfully is.
Yep.
But then not worry about how other people are going to find a way to recover from this situation.
Right, they'll do it just fine. They got here, like... They're here, you know.
They're here,
They didn't happen by accident. That happened through their own blood, sweat, and tears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If anything, it shows something interesting about Ipoh, and something I think we've always liked about him, even though he switched a little bit from being the physical underdog to being more of the emotional underdog of the story, is that he still lacks confidence.
Yeah.
And I think he projects out a little bit of his own lack of confidence onto others when he's like, oh no, what will I say?
Yeah.
How will I boost their confidence back up?
Because he's a sensitive boy, and he remembers how things hurt for him.
Exactly.
And he doesn't want to do that to them.
Right.
And then you get people like the Chief, who hears that kind of talk after he just got back from a really aggravating conversation, and he won't stand for it.
And he just lets out his cane frustration on Ipoh. It's like, okay, bro, okay, calm down.
That reminded me
do that on Taka Mora, and then I'll be a little bit more impressed with you.
That reminded. Oh, I mean, he'll do it to Taka Mora too.
No, Taka Mora, but might actually like clock him.
Oh yeah, he has done that and knocked him out.
Yeah, he has.
But that almost felt like straight from like even though I know this came way later than Ipoh, but it reminded me of Kaguya Loves War when when she takes the fan and just
big thing I think they brought up this episode that I'm curious if they're actually going to go into. They brought up the idea that this Russian trainer for Volg basically was like, yes, Japanese boxers, they tend to break down. Why is that? Basically saying, obviously, we Russians are the superior race with our massive bone structure and generally taller stature.
It's like you merely.
It's like you realize we're all in weight classes, right? It doesn't really.
Well, no, I think that's more of the kind of a thing of like, yes, you willpower and all that stuff. We train in the snow and wrestle bears or something like that.
Right. It seemed like he was basically challenging Shonen Resolve and saying that, hey, you know that Shonen Resolve BS? Yeah, it's BS. And y'all are just trying to make up for the fact that there are some of you out there with no skill, and you're just like, you know, and it felt really appropriate actually that he would say that.
Yeah,
because when you looked at Volg, like when we looked at Volg, you know, in the previous episode, did he seem passionate?
Nope.
No.
And
did he seem to have like that willpower?
Right.
No. If anything, he seemed to either be like in regret. or he seemed to be in the uncaged beast mode. Just, I will kill you.
And the thing is, it wasn't that the other coach was saying that just we as Russians, because we drink vodka and and are in the snow, are better than you guys.
Right.
It was that you guys are great. Yeah, you're great. You do all this stuff, but there's this, and quite frankly, I don't know of any fighter that can beat my boxer.
The closing one-liner. Yeah,
it's because the thing is, if he had been vindictive, if he had been like, or above, right, then that would have been fine, because that would have made Kamigawa, that would have made the chief just be like, I'll just make it even better when we wipe that smug grin off your face, right? But the fact that it was just so dispassionate, just like, sure, but,
right,
everything before the word but is bullshit, right?
Yep. It's so true. Anytime you're listening to someone and they're just making a statement, they're not asking a question, and then they start to say but, and then they go into something else, you can take everything that they said prior to that and they essentially don't even mean it.
Right.
There's some merit to it.
There's some merit. There's a reason they said it.
There's a reason they said that, not other stuff.
But they don't really care.
You see what we did there? You see what we did there? Yeah. So we have our match upcoming. Ipoh learns a new move, which I gotta say,
I love it.
This okay.
This is an initiation move.
This is this is a
MOBA
gap closer. If you play video games, you know how powerful gap closers are.
Right.
This is I go and hit you from far away, and I hit you hard,
and I get close, because
no, obviously that's a gap closer part.
Right. But I feel like this is the thing with Jotaro or something, where it's I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer,
right.
And oh hey, you just taught me a secret technique for getting closer. My
ho,
this does put a smile on my face.
Yes. Okay, I want to talk about the leg work here. This is something that I actually get somewhat excited about because of Ultimate Frisbee.
Use your legs so much?
Because of Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah.
When people have legs of a god,
like a gazelle,
I'm not even kidding, y'all. I was playing Ultimate Frisbee last night. Last night, recording this and stuff, and I was watching someone else play, and this girl to the right of me goes, God, that guy has the legs of a gazelle. Straight up, just, it's such a weird coincidence that she said that, and now I'm watching this. But I thought about it, and I realized why he was so terrifying, this guy on the field. He's got this spring in his step from when he's planted, which is where you get a lot of your strength, to explode off of that in a specific direction, and then follow up on that explosion. Here's my point here. You get those people that have that jumping power. They cut the ground, they jump, they explode up, and then they come back down. It's oh, okay, awesome. You see people that can jump, in basketball.
And it's terrifying.
Or Olympics, high jumps, all that kind of crazy stuff, or what have you.
I wish I could jump high.
Yeah, I wish I could jump high too. I can jump relatively high, in full motion, running and stuff like that, and it's not that bad, but it's more just because I'm tall, it looks tall. Anyway, point is, the people who can explode off their feet, not actually go high, but far, to the point where their next planted step off of that explosion, from going from 0 to whatever, if they can follow up on that step, you are impossible to catch. There is, okay, the amount of strength and coordination required to do this is on another level. It's something that legitimately freaks me out when I'm in a running sport. If someone is able to apply that strength into their boxing punch,
oh yeah, that'd be insane.
This is a killer move. This is a oh Maiwa move Shinderu. Nani? And then they're already in your I can already see how they anime this.
Oh yeah.
He's like they're squaring up against each other, and then Ipoh does the little like jumps back, and he's like, wait, Masaka, like wait, Nani, wait, he's backing up. And then Ipoh just kind of goes, ho, you're going to try to approach me. No, you. And then he like goes like completely underneath him, and he like basically teleports underneath him, because that's how it feels in terms of how we observe and reaction time and stuff like that. We can't process information coming in through our eyes that quickly. So like,
as someone who is, I may not be as much of an Ultimate Frisbee person, but when I have played with Caleb, as someone who is much slower, I notice these things a lot.
Like the acceleration power of certain people.
Because it's just like, I can't do that. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But I feel like what we can take away from this, Caleb, is that you're a legs guy.
I'm a legs guy, yes. I get excited whenever anyone basically says, you need bigger legs. I'm like, yes, you do. I'm like...
Forget back muscles, Chan.
No, I'm telling you, if you want to go and basically like lose weight, you gain muscle. That's right. That's the thing.
The muscle keeps up your metabolism so that way, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I see so many people who will basically like, especially guys, they'll go for like big upper bodies and stuff like that.
Skip leg day.
And skip leg day. It's a meme. It's a joke, right? Yeah. But then you'll see those guys who the joke is then they didn't skip leg day, and it's like they'll walk in and their legs are practically like squishing out, and their knees will come up here, and then there'll be this bulge up here where their knee is, and it's like
the bicyclers, you know, and things like that. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yep.
But then you see the guys who aren't even that big. They just have that explosive leg power with the coordination.
Yeah. Having those big legs when you're, 160 pounds or something, or less,
when it goes down to the ratio of what would be like a featherweight thing here. Because I was basically looking at that. I was watching a guy who's 5'7" go and accelerate at a speed that's like triple my acceleration power. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
What? And they literally use the word gazelle, so I'm drawing the connection here. It's just like, oh, Ipoh, if you get this, you will end fights in one punch, like one move, like it's just.
So you know how you have like flying dreams?
Yes, I do.
And I've had flying dreams too.
Yeah.
But the main dreams that I actually have when it comes to things like that
are jumping
and running. Like just general like ground-based, because I mean, like even in like I can hardly imagine not being landlocked.
Right.
But just having that kind of like speed and stuff, that would be so cool. Like
you want to go back to the days of Halo 3 custom maps with 300% movement speed and 50% gravity. Just
yeah. No, like even in flying dreams, like I'll usually be like feel heavy so that I can't actually like get far into the sky. It's unfortunate, but I don't know how that relates to Ipoh.
That's the armor talking.
Yeah, it's the armor talking basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like so this will be like, I love how they animated it. It was fantastic. I can't wait to see it be done in a fight.
Yes,
because it's terrifying.
It's also got a defensive component in that once he tells him how to basically make sure you go underneath this point here, he's basically saying the only thing that will hit you is a very late punch from the bottom going up. And even then, if that connects, it won't be fully extended because you'll be so low.
Well, and you might be able to beat them to it.
That's the point. Yeah, you'll be faster.
Right. Because like, and again, I don't know nothing about boxing, but like trying to do an uppercut on someone that's coming towards you, that feels like it would be a lot harder to connect because they're moving, so they could like
no, but they'll be driving themselves right into your fist, so it will. Sure. You'll get a little bit of assistance by that. Like that's literally the only thing, because if you go down, they're not driving into your fist.
Okay, I get, but probably in order to do that, like maybe that's why the ducking thing is so important, because then they have to kind of duck too in order to intercept you.
Right. The best way to handle this punch is just to run away. to kind of skip back.
You skip
back a couple
that way the
steps.
foot works off, and then
and they won't be able to maintain that coordination of them being able to drive with the steps. So I can't go and explain this enough because I still don't get it fully, but I understand why it is so devastating. Is that if he can, while making the jump, making the big step, then connect with his feet with the ground, remain grounded, pivot, drive that strength through his hips and everything, and then come in with the big punch. That's where the terrifying thing is. If he just loses his footing, he can't make his punch rolls. His punch will be like, "Yeah, I tapped you. I jabbed from far away and then I gap close." It's the difference between a gap closer that just hits them for 50 damage versus the one that's a gap closer and stuns them for 5 seconds. You know, like in video game terms, that's the difference here. We're talking.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. Oh boy, and especially if the thing is that if the first punch is able to connect, even if it doesn't knock them out,
right?
Even if it doesn't knock them out,
you'll have so much driving force behind it. It's like a freight train.
Well, right, but then also they'll be put off balance enough
that you can just follow up with whatever.
You can follow up and like.
I fear for Date now. Volg, I actually am like, yeah, you're okay. But Date is going to be older. His reflexes are going to be slower. His reaction time.
Right, he'll be experienced. So,
he'll be experienced.
So he may have even seen this before.
That's
right?
true.
You know, and he'll be like, oh, shit, I didn't expect Ipoh to be able to do this.
Right.
You know?
My thing is, I think that he'll just dodge it. He'll just skip back 3 steps and be like, nope, that was a fluke, but you're not doing that again. I saw that.
Right.
I saw that.
The thing that's going to make this very interesting with Volg is because in some ways, the reason why they need something like this against Volg is because Volg can also destroy Ipoh in a melee. Right?
Yes.
So they need to basically have Ipoh be able to initiate so that way the fight starts on his terms.
He sets the melee on his tempo.
Yeah, exactly. His tempo, his style. Yep. Right.
Yes.
And then maybe he can do it, right?
Okay.
But if he doesn't,
I'm hyped.
If it doesn't work and he loses the momentum from that initial drive, Volg will be able to answer his call.
Oh, yes.
And
just
it will not
side
be
step
pretty.
and then clock here and Ipoh's down.
And even if Ipoh doesn't go down, then Volg has tempo. And we've seen what happens when Volg has tempo. You don't get it back.
Oh.
The next thing you remember is waking up in the hospital.
So, y'all, that's an episode. So, y'all, if you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about these stories, about anime in general, and get involved with the community there. We talk about all kinds of stuff. There's events and cool, stuff there. And you can also talk with Jacob about his book.
Yes, my sci-fi novel, Battle Lines, is still available for order on Amazon. The link is in the description below, so go check it out, leave a review, let people know what you think.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.